So you're making plans to retire. Great. Can you pass the retirement readiness quiz? We'll give it to you next and talk about maximizing your Social Security. That's coming up next on Your Money Matters, presented by the Presley Group.
There are plenty of people who believe a safe retirement is too good to be true, that there is no safe place for you to go with your money. Even your very own government will try to tax it right out from under your nose. But you've just tuned in to information that can save your retirement nest egg. It's Your Money Matters, featuring two of America's top retirement specialists, Christy Smith and Matt Kennedy with the Presley Group. They can teach you how to retire without all of the risks. Now, let's get back to Your Money Matters.
Good morning and welcome to Your Money Matters. We have got so much to do today. It's Matt Kennedy along with Christy Smith, the owner, founder, and president of the Presley Group. Now, let me let you in on a secret. Christy is never nervous when we do this show. I mean, she loves to talk on the radio like me. But today, though, she might be a little nervous because I have a quiz. The So You Think You're Ready for Retirement quiz. Now, I've seen the questions and I've seen all the answers, and I thought it would be fun if I just gave you the quiz.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting.
We want to talk about a couple of things before we get into the actual quiz. Number one of the biggest decisions people have to make as they get ready for retirement, Christy, is when do I take Social Security? How do I take it? Do I take a spousal benefit? Do I not? So many questions. We're going to have two workshops coming up next week on Tuesday and Thursday evening here in Baton Rouge, and those workshops are going to focus on answering those important Social Security questions.
You know, Matt, one of the things that I hear from people that attend our workshops is that our workshops are really so different from others that they've attended. You know, a lot of times people come to these workshops with their dukes up, you know, and their dukes are up because they're thinking, oh, how can I be going somewhere, getting a free meal, and they're not going to try to sell me something. And the reality is that our workshops are not designed to sell you anything. In fact, we've been covering the Obamacare plans, the Affordable Health Care Act, for the last month. And, well, we've had probably close to 200 people attend our workshops in the last month. And I will say that time and time again, I heard that our workshops were the best people had ever gone to because they're truly educational.
Trying to teach people something, right?
Exactly. So when we think about a topic like Social Security, that is a topic that people just really have major questions about. There's lots of things involved that many don't even know they can do. You and I were just talking about a client that we're working with at the office, and they're doing a suspense and hold. And you might say, well, what is a suspend and hold? These are the types of things that we want to teach you about. And so we are having some educational workshops this coming week. Tuesday and Thursday evening. Now, they are free to attend, but seating is limited. Both workshops are almost full. If you would like to attend our educational workshop on the Social Security decisions, and also how can you plan and protect for safe and secure retirement, give our office a call and schedule your reservation to attend. Again, it is free. You can bring a guest with you, but you do have to have a reservation to attend. And I think we only have less than 10 spots available for both the Tuesday and Thursday workshop. Our office number is 791-5773. Now, if you're driving and you can't pick up the phone and call, remember this, facebook.com/the Presley Group.
That's it.
And you can go onto our Facebook. You can request someone from the office to give you a call next week and take that reservation. Or you can go to safemoneyplan.net, which is our website, and you can actually reserve your seat on our website as well.
Also, while you're on the website, something brand new Taylor has cooked up. It simply says, Ask Christy. Just click the link right there. If you have a question that can't wait until a workshop, or a question maybe that doesn't relate to Social Security, ask Christy, and your question will be answered via email. We may even use your question as a question and answer on the air. Now, we're not going to give your full name. We'll keep it to first names to protect your privacy. But if you have a question, visit the website, safemoneyplan.net, or facebook.com/the Presley Group, and click on the link, Ask Christy. We'll talk more about the workshop in just a moment. But this was in the Wall Street Journal on Monday of this week, and it was the So You Think You're Ready for Retirement quiz. You're going to love this, Christy, okay?
I'm
Now-
laughing already just by the picture.
Oh, you're going to be fine. There must be like 20 questions. We're not going to go through all of them. But there are some important questions and answers. I have the answers. It's all multiple choice, okay?
Okay.
So if you don't know, guess.
Okay.
Number one, research by Fidelity recommends that workers should aim to save what multiple of their ending annual salary at age 67 in order just to meet the basic needs of retirement income. Let me phrase that a simpler way. When you retire at 67, how much should you have saved up? 4 times your salary, 8 times, 6 times, or 10 times your salary?
I would say 8.
And you are right. The recommendation is that you have good guess. No, not a guess. You know this. The recommendation is that you have 8 times your salary. So do the math right now in your head, folks. How much do you make a year? How much do you have saved up? I'll even break it down for you. I'm 47. How young are you?
45.
At 45, you should have 3 times your average annual salary saved up. At 55, you need 5 times your average annual salary. If you're making $100,000 a year, at age 55, you need to have $500,000 saved up. And when you call it quits, you need 8 times. So if you were making $100,000 a year, you need to have $800,000 saved up to make sure you have enough money during retirement.
And I think that's really a good question, Matt, because one of the biggest questions we do get asked is how much money do I need to retire? And, you know, I tell everybody that the answer to that is not a one size fits all. You know, we
That's
have to
right.
sit down and figure out exactly how much do you need. But that is one of the biggest questions people have as they approach retirement. Do I have enough money?
Well, and then, of course, the question beyond that is, how much does a pension pay out? How much does Social Security meet of those savings? I mean, you may not have a large nest egg, but if you have a nice pension, that may cover you.
Yes.
But what you have to look at your aggregate total savings. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, too, we do see that people are, fewer and fewer people actually have a pension now. Because, you know, most companies have done away with the pensions. They're using 401k plans.
That's right.
And forcing us as individuals to accept responsibility and save on our own.
Okay, here's another one, Christy. There's a rule of thumb that says you'll spend about blank percent of what you make every year now in retirement. So when you retire, if you're making, let's say, $100,000, about how much would you spend each year in retirement? 65%, 75%, 85%, or 95%?
I would have said 85%, Matt,
That's
because
right.
it's a big misconception that whenever you retire, you're going to spend less money. But the reality is that, you know, retirement doesn't mean the electricity bill is going to go down. It doesn't mean the grocery bill is going to go down. It doesn't mean that transportation costs are going to go down. Maybe you won't drive as much, but as inflation hits us, gas will cost more and the price of vehicles themselves will cost more.
But the amazing thing is, Christy, so many people think, surveys show, people think, I'm going to spend about half as much in retirement. No, you're not. You're going to spend about 85% of what you make right now, unless you radically alter your lifestyle.
And another contributing factor to Americans spending more during retirement, Matt, is that the family unit of, you know, raising your family in Baton Rouge, your children going to school, getting jobs here in Baton Rouge, and seeing your grandchildren every day, you know, that's done long on. Excuse me, I'm suffering with sinuses this morning. But the thing is that what we're seeing is children move away.
Absolutely.
And so now we have travel expenses that we have to add into our monthly obligations because we're wanting to go and see our grandchildren. And I have clients that have to go to 2-3 different states, in fact, to see their
Yeah.
children and their grandchildren.
We've had clients who've moved
Yes.
to be near their grandchildren. That costs money. Okay, here's a wild card question. You ready?
Okay.
Christy, what percentage of baby boomers, 55 plus surveyed, what percentage are confident they'll be able to afford the essentials during retirement. In other words, what percentage of people surveyed who are close to retirement think they have enough money saved up just to meet their basic needs?
I'm going to say that's a very low percentage. I'm going to say 20%.
It's 46%.
Wow, that
which
surprises
is not
me.
bad.
That's not bad. That does surprise me.
46% say they're confident they can afford the essentials. However, the number you threw out, that's the percentage of people who say they're confident they'll be able to do everything they want to do in retirement. There's a big difference.
The difference is in the wording. Essentials and normal daily living is two different things.
Well, and some people are not confident because they're worried that, well, I'm going to be retired. I'll be drawing money off my portfolio. The market's going to hit me hard. I don't want to be at risk, so I have to compromise my lifestyle. We're here to tell you you don't. We work with people every day who say our goal is to have X amount of dollars every year so we don't have to live on beans and rice and settle for the essentials. We want to live the life we dreamed. And it's a bold statement, but I'll say it. At the Presley Group, we make retirement dreams come true.
We do.
Because we use guaranteed insurance products that pay you a guaranteed income no matter what happens on Wall Street, so that if you need 30 grand a year coming in from your portfolio, we can get you a guaranteed 30 grand a year no matter what happens on Wall Street.
Matt, earlier this week, I had the opportunity to work with a client that has been with us now for a little over a year. So we were doing their annual review. And when I first met them, they were both still working. And the husband, the gentleman, he worked as a hotshot driver, and his hours and his
It was grueling.
it was just a hard place for him to be because he never knew when he was going to be at work. It was long days, and he just realized that his body couldn't hold up to that much longer, and so he came in and we created a SIPS plan. You might say, what is a SIPS plan? It's a sequential income payment plan. So what we did basically in everyday terms is we laddered his money into 3 different plans and created a guaranteed retirement income that was going to last as long as either one of them are alive. But not only that, because we used 3 different plans, we actually increase the income as they get older to offset for inflation. Well, I just met with them after their first annual review, and come to find out, my client has had some health issues this year. And his wife said, Christy, I don't know what we would have done had we not sat down a year ago and worked all this out. We didn't ever have to worry about our income while he was going through these treatments. And so it made me feel so good to know we really made a difference.
And we're going to address this at both of our workshops. We'll talk extensively about how to maximize Social Security benefits on both Tuesday and Thursday evening. But we're going to talk about how to turn your nest egg into a guaranteed income, how to protect your nest egg from losses. Maybe you don't need income. Maybe you're just worried about the ups and downs of Wall Street. To reserve your space for you and a guest at our workshop in Baton Rouge this Tuesday or Thursday, the 5th or 7th, simply call us. I believe Cheryl's in the office this morning, 791-5773, 791-5773. I'm not going to ask you this question because it might be too much of a trick question. It's a sobering and stunning statistic. Christy, only 36%. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. 36% of people age 55 plus have only saved $10,000.
That really is.
It's a crisis.
It is not surprising to me, Matt.
It's an absolute
I do
crisis.
see people that come in at 55 years old and think that they're going to retire in 5 years, and when you start saying, okay, what money have you saved for retirement, you find that they haven't. A lot of times we see that they've saved into 401ks, but guess what they've done? They go in when they want something and they borrow against it.
That's dangerous.
So a lot of times we'll see someone's got a decent 401k account that they normally could use that money to create as an income, but they really can't because it's got a loan against it.
That's right. All right, here's one, Christy. What percentage of American households are at risk of simply not having enough saved up to maintain their living standards in retirement? I just told you 36%
Yeah.
of boomers only have $10,000. So what percentage of people just don't have enough money saved? Is it 33%, 43%, 53%, or 63%?
I would say 50%.
Yeah, 53.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Call it half. According to a lot of research, half of Americans don't have enough money saved up. Now, you may say, well, how can you help me at the Presley Group? Well, we can't help you save money. We can encourage you to save. But what we can do is if you know that nest egg has to last a lifetime, our plans give you a guaranteed lifetime of income. So it may be that even though your nest egg is small, if you need to count on it, our companies, the insurance companies we use through our fixed indexed annuity plans, they will issue you a contract that says we're going to pay you this set amount for your life and the life of your spouse. And if you haven't saved a ton, this may be a good strategy.
Matt, one of the things I think is so important for us to do with our families is we need to learn to start teaching our children and our grandchildren about the value of money and about saving at an early age. You know, I can tell you that Presley, 12 years old, has saved at least 90% of her Christmas and birthday money that she's ever gotten. And she's quick to throw out to me when she asks for something, oh, I've got money. But when I say, okay, honey, let's go take it out and you can use it to buy whatever she's wanting, then she changes her mind. The problem in our society is that we have grown up with the conception that if we can't afford something, we charge it or we borrow. We don't save and buy. Okay, we need to teach our family, our children, our grandchildren that saving is very important, because what's going to happen to them? I mean, we know what the situation looks like today. We know the state of our economy today. What we can't imagine is what it's going to be like in another 20 years when all the unfunded mandates that we have with the government really have hit us and now become deficits versus unfunded mandates.
All right, we're going to continue after this short break with the So You Think You're Ready for Retirement quiz. Christy, I mean, you're doing great.
Well, thank you.
So far, an A-. Nah, you're doing great. When we come back, we'll talk about how much money will you need for medical care on average. And by the way, here's our first question. I'll let you ponder this one. If you retire at age 65, what percentage of your life will you live in retirement? We'll talk about that when we come back. If you'd like to register for our workshops on Tuesday or Thursday, give us a call. Just a few seats left. 791-5773. 791-5773. You can also register online at safemoneyplan.net. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Presley Group. Back in just a moment on Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP.
Good morning and welcome back to Your Money Matters, brought to you by the Presley Group. We're excited to be here with you this morning, and I'm joined with my co-host, Matt. And, you know, Matt, it's been a fun morning already. We're talking about a quiz that was done in the Wall Street Journal earlier this week, and it's called So You Think You're Ready for Retirement. And Matt brought this to me earlier in the week, and he said, okay, we're going to do this quiz on the radio show. He said, but I'm not letting you look at it, so I'm taking it because I want to put you on the spot and see how much you really know. So we're having a little fun this morning.
All right, so Christy, if someone retires at age 65, they call it quits, what percentage of their life will they live in retirement? It's a fancy way of saying about how many more years are they going to still live? Is it 14% of their life in retirement, 17%, 20%, or 23% of their life?
Matt, I have to go with 23% because we do know that the average life expectancy of a female now is well over 80, and I think it's even getting that way for men. People are living in retirement for 20 and 30 years. I'm gonna say 23%.
You nailed it. Right. We've talked about this a lot in our workshops. But how many people think, come on, be honest, show of hands, well, daddy died at 62 and mama died at 67 and I'm going to be gone by 70. The odds are you will not. The odds are you will live nearly 1/4 of your life in retirement. So here's the question. Do you have enough money to live 22 years in retirement? Well, do you have enough? Have you saved enough? Do you have a strategy for maximizing Social Security and creating income?
I had a lady in the office this week, and she was telling me that her mother lives with her. And I said, well, does she live with you because she's sick? Because, she told me that she was a caregiver. And I said, well, is she sick? And she said, no, she's not sick. She's just 97.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, it didn't surprise me. My grandmother passed away in her late 90s and had a very good life. But more and more people are living longer. It's not just a matter of God deciding to leave us here longer. It's a matter of modern technology keeping us alive longer.
That's right.
Think about this. My husband's dad, he has a long line of brothers and uncles that, they have heart problems. And in the past, they'd have a heart attack and drop dead. But my father-in-law never had a heart attack. He just went for a physical. They put him on the treadmill, said, oh, we're putting you in the hospital. And now all of a sudden, we're having a triple bypass surgery. Well, that's been several years ago. And he's fine now. Mm-hmm. So in the past, we would just simply die from things that we can cure now. We can keep you alive longer. And so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Now,
we have to plan and do things differently.
That keeping us alive, though, doesn't come cheap. Next question. A 65-year-old couple retires in 2013. How much money will they need to cover their medical expenses through retirement? Is it $100,000, $140,000, $180,000, or is it $220,000 to cover both of them through retirement? Which is it, Christy?
I have to think it's over 200, the 280.
Yep. It's 220. It's 220.
The reason why, Matt, is because, number one, because we are living so much longer, it's a very high statistic, 1 out of 2, that we will enter some type of long-term care facility.
Now, listen to this real quick. Do you know when Fidelity asked the average baby boomer, how much will you need? $50,000 was the answer.
Oh, wow.
Americans, we are grossly underestimating how much money we need to care for ourselves as we retire.
Even if we didn't need some type of long-term care facility, what we can expect is to start paying more for our health care. Yeah, the Social Security system is not designed really, and it's not funded properly for the amount of people that are going to be on the system. We've got 10,000 baby boomers retiring every single day, and then your Medicare system. Look at everything that's going on right now with the Affordable Health Care Act. What we can expect is that everyday healthcare costs are going to skyrocket.
You bet.
We have to plan. We have to plan for that. If we don't, we end up impoverished and on the Medicaid system.
To help you plan at our workshops on Tuesday and Thursday, when you attend, you'll get a free copy of the Social Security Decisions. What, when, who, how. Very complex, but it's a critical part of planning because Social Security is going to be the primary form of retirement for about 48% of all Americans. So when you sign up or register for our workshop, we'll be offering this booklet. And again, to register, we have just a few spots left. It's great information, Tuesday or Thursday at 7915773. Now, you might say, but wait, Matt and Christy, I'm already drawing Social Security. That's okay. You can still come to learn about, well, number one, are you maximizing those benefits? And number two, how do I go about protecting my nest egg and creating additional income if I need it? All right, Christy, this one's going to make you rant.
Okay.
What percentage of adults 65 to 74 have credit card debt? Is it 12%, 22%, 32%, or 42%?
That's an easy answer.
Okay.
It's 42%.
It's 32.
32. Okay.
Yeah, but still a third of
Yeah.
of people 65 to 64, 65 to 74, a third
Yeah,
have
that doesn't surprise me.
credit card debt.
I see that when people come into the office and meet with us when they're getting close to retirement and they're starting to look at retirement plans. We're starting to look at, okay, let's create a budget. And we start going through all of their expenses, and often I can tell you I see credit card debt. I will tell you though, I believe, and it may be covered further in here, and I don't know, but I will tell you I believe as you get older, we see the credit card debt go away. You know, the people that are 75 and older,
gone.
We don't see credit card debt for that age group people.
I do agree. Some of that's traveling to see those early grandbabies. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. There's more to the quiz. If you'd like to find it, tell you what, I'll see if I can post a link on our website, safemoneyplan.net. Last but not least, this is not a question. This was just a survey question, so I'll give you a guess. When asked how they feel about seeking professional advice about retirement finances and retirement planning, Christy, what percentage of people said they simply wouldn't do it?
I would say probably 28 to 30%.
36% of people said, I'm not going to do it. 11% said, I'm going to do it, but I'll dread it. And guess what? 40% of people said, I've done it, and I have no regrets. A lot of you don't want to meet with someone because you think you're going to get a sales pitch, and you think you're going to be forced into some plan that only benefits the agent or the broker
You're
and
right.
not you.
That's
because
right.
you know why? There's a lot of bad brokers and a lot of bad agents out there who don't take the time to listen to you.
You're exactly right. And we hear this time and time again. But I will tell you, I think one of the reasons that we hear it as well is because people have gotten used to managing their own money within 401k plans. We don't get the help and guidance we need, while we're working and saving into the 401k plans. But, you don't have to be like the others out there. You don't have to swim in the sea alone. There is help available. We specialize in teaching you how to plan and protect for retirement income. You simply need to give us a call, schedule a no obligation, no cost visit, and come sit down and talk with us. Our office number is 791-5773. 791-5773.
That's the same exact number to call. Maybe you'd prefer to meet us in a workshop environment. We have 2 of them, Tuesday and Thursday of this coming week. Give us a call and register. Now, when we come back, we're going to hear from Andy Landis. Andy wrote the book, Social Security, The Inside Story. Some more great information about maximizing those benefits. That's next here on Your Money Matters on Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Morning. Welcome back. Segment number 3 of Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM. The Presley Group presents Your Money Matters every Saturday morning at 9 and a replay Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. here on Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Okay, so Christy has taken the retirement readiness quiz. By the way, we'll see if we can't find a link to that article from the Wall Street Journal and put it up on our website. It's Safe Money. You know what? We'll put it on our Facebook page. That's what we'll do. Easier to post it there. So go to facebook.com/The Presley Group, and we'll have a link to the Wall Street Journal retirement quiz at the Presley Group's Facebook page, facebook.com/The Presley Group. By the way, you can also, through there, reach our website and the Ask Christy section of our website as well, where you can submit a question to Christy, and she'll answer you within 24 hours via email. So we've talked about getting ready for retirement. And, of course, one of the biggest decisions you have to make as you get ready for retirement is, when do I take Social Security? Do I take it at age 62? Do I wait till 65? Do I wait till my full retirement age, which, of course, could be as late as age 67? Or do you keep on working and postpone taking your Social Security until age 70? What about my spouse? When does he or she claim? Can they get half my benefits? What about file and suspend? There's all these things to learn. And on Tuesday and Thursday of next week, November 5th and 7th, we have a couple of workshops here in Baton Rouge, both at 6 p.m. in the evening, to help you better understand how to maximize retirement income, how to safeguard your nest egg from market downturns, and how to create a retirement income plan and maximize Social Security. Again, if you would like to attend the workshops, simply call us at 791-5773. 791-5773. I have to tell you, though, that I haven't found anyone who knows more about Social Security than our next guest, Andy Landis, author of the book Social Security, The Inside Story. I stumbled across an article that Andy had written as one of the retire mentors at MarketWatch.com, And very eye-catching article. Maximize your Social Security? ? Not so fast. Andy, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Why wouldn't I want to maximize my Social Security?
Good morning, Matt. That's a great question because, you pay into it your whole life, and then you're thinking, don't I want to get as many dollars back out of it as I can? But there's a trade-off. There's a catch. There are a lot of cool maximization strategies. Some of them are a little exotic. Withdraw and refile, file and suspend, restricted application, kind of interesting stuff, and they're all in my book. But there's always a trade-off, and the catch is you're postponing your dollars up front to get more dollars in the long run. And those dollars you lose up front might make it not worth it to postpone the Social Security. Yeah. The number one thing is, can you postpone Social Security? Most of the people I know are going, I need it now. I lost my job, or I've been looking forward to retirement for years. I need to get on with it. I need that Social Security to make ends meet. So it's a little silly to say, hey, if you postpone for 8 years, you'll get more money after 20 years. That kind of thing.
Yeah. In your article, you very succinctly point out some very, very meaningful considerations if you're going to think about when to take Social Security, because that is the ultimate question, right? When do I begin drawing it? Or when do I begin taking half of my spouse's, for example? You say you have to look at things like life expectancy, the near-term shortfall, marital status, estate planning, taxes. Let's walk through those if we can. First of all, life expectancy. What factor does that play?
Yes, sir. Let's say that you are ill at this point. You may not have a long life expectancy because of family history, something like that. Well, then why would you give yourself a shortfall in the short term to get more money in the long term when there may not be a long term? I hate to put it that way.
You may not be here to collect it.
You may not live long enough to get more money out of the system. So a lot of people who are, say, sickly or they just don't expect to live as long, it just doesn't make sense to look for the long term.
So you kind of have to look at your family history. And if your mom and dad lived into their 90s, right, maybe it makes sense for you to put off taking Social Security. But if you've got illness right now, or you've got a history of passing away in your 70s or late 60s, maybe you take it right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of wrestling with that because Landis men do not live very long in history, so maybe I better get what I can early. I haven't decided on that yet.
Yeah. Of course, medical improvements may be to your benefit, though.
Right. Thank goodness. And then, of course, the next factor is, can you live with that near-term shortfall? Do you have a source of income to get you to age 66 or ideally 70 to collect more Social Security in the long run? Now, the logical thing is if you have a job, if you're working, you like it, it's good for you, or maybe you've started a second job or a second career, then you can postpone the Social Security and it makes good financial sense. By the way, I love that term. Can't come up with it. Never mind. So do you have a source of income for the near-term shortfall, and what is that source of income? For example, if to get to a later Social Security age, you're drawing money from an IRA, your financial advisor may shudder at that because there's 3 big strikes against you. If you hit your IRA early in order to postpone your Social Security, you're paying more in taxes than you would under Social Security.
Right.
You're denying yourself compounding from the dollars that you're pulling out. They can't compound anymore. And you have to pull more and more out from it for inflation as years go by, where Social Security automatically inflates. So,
Andy, the way you've written it in the article at MarketWatch is well written. It says earlier Social Security could mean more savings later. Waiting for Social Security can actually be bad for your savings health.
Right.
Because like you just said, you may be withdrawing more than you can really afford to withdraw.
Right. It may be bad for you in the long run. Do you want the savings to be drained up front so you have lower savings later, but you have higher Social Security? Or is the other way around better for you individual? Take the income early but have more savings later in life. It's an individual question.
It's Andy Landis with us, the website Andy Landis, LANDIS.biz. He's author of Social Security, The Inside Story, which, by the way, has been updated for 2012. All the latest info is in there. And then I think one of the biggies has to be marital status. You have to take that into consideration, don't you?
it's a huge factor, and the reason is demographics. If you look at any given couple and their life expectancy as a couple, in other words, I hate to be blunt, but when does the second person pass away? Their life expectancy as a couple is longer than the life expectancy of either of them as an individual. Example, life expectancy for a couple in their mid-60s is 92 years old. That changes the whole time frame for Social Security maximization. And it also opens up other possibilities for maximization. There's an exotic form of filing where you file for 50% spouse benefits at 66 and then file for your own at 70, and you get 132% payment instead of 100%. So it's worth doing if you have a long enough life expectancy, and the couple does. So that changes everything. If you're just planning for one person, which a lot of people are, that's a different situation than if you're planning for a couple.
Andy, in your years and years of covering Social Security benefits, writing about them, educating people about them, what is the single biggest mistake that you see that married couples make when it comes to figuring out Social Security withdrawals?
I think probably the biggest mistake is not considering the extra lifespan that you have if there's two of you. And what does the survivor have to go with them? So, example, if I file early for Social Security, my wife, Kay, would be shortchanged when I pass away. She will not get more than I get when I pass away. So if I take an earlier, lower payment from Social Security, I'm locking that in not just for my lifespan, but for my survivor as well. So it's important to consider who gets what after the first death, and you don't want to leave somebody, holding the bag, so to speak, if you love them.
Yeah, let's talk about taxes, too. That T word has to be out there, and taxes are, of course, creeping up. And you write, if the alternative to Social Security is withdrawals from a traditional IRA, every dollar withdrawn will be taxable. Expand on that.
Sure. Any money you draw from a traditional IRA is 100% taxable at the point you withdraw it. Not talking about a Roth, but a traditional IRA where most of our retirement savings is today. So anything you take out of there is taxable. Well, so what? Isn't the same true of Social Security? No. Even for high-income retirees, at least 15% of the Social Security is tax-free. So depending on your tax picture, it might make sense to take the Social Security and get the tax benefits of drawing that rather than taking money from your IRA. Again, it's an individual question.
Yeah.
I'm not a financial planner, but I work with financial planners all the time, and I love it when I hear somebody ask a planner, when should I file for Social Security? And they say, I don't know because I don't know all your situation. I need to know your tax situation. Are you going to get an inheritance? Are you going to sell a house later? It's a million questions that go into it.
Andy Landis with us, the book Social Security, The Inside Story. His website, again, is andylandis.biz. You can read his columns at marketwatch.com. And today we are offering a complimentary copy of Andy's book, Social Security, The Inside Story, updated for 2012. All you have to do is call our office at 791-5773 and schedule a free, no-obligation, complimentary retirement checkup, just so we can sit down and talk with you about what your needs are, help you make that Social Security decision, and help you safeguard and protect your retirement portfolio from all the market volatility. So call now at 791-5773. That's 791-5773. Schedule that 1-hour complimentary retirement checkup, and we'll give you a free copy of the book, Social Security, The Inside Story by our guest, Andy Landis. You also write, Andy, about estate planning, that estate planning has to be a consideration when you talk about Social Security and when to take it. Expound on that.
Yeah, in fact, I do train attorneys to talk about to learn about how Social Security figures into the estate plan. Social Security has built-in survivor payments. If I pass away, Kay, my wife, could draw Social Security on my record or on her own, whichever one pays better. So that's important, but it's also important on your Social Security maximization picture. For example, if you maximize your long-term Social Security, that's great because you're maximizing it for your survivor also. But if I take Social Security early, that might maximize my savings that I can pass on to whoever I want. So how big will my estate be when I pass it on to, say, my kids? My kids won't get anything from Social Security because they're grown and they're healthy. Not from my Social Security, anyway. So the fact is, if I want to pass something on to family members, then I need to preserve my savings, not my Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm not saying it's one decision or the other. Everybody's going to be individual on that. But it's a consideration. You need to consider, gee, what do I want to pass on to others, and what will my spouse have for my Social Security?
And Andy, last but not least, I know one of the big considerations you mentioned in working with financial planners, one of the big considerations has to be, if I begin taking Social Security early, let's say age 62, well, I get dinged if I'm taking it early if I've got too much income. That has to be a gigantic consideration, right?
It is. The only kind of income that would reduce your Social Security is work income, either self-employment or employment income, when you're under full retirement age, which is currently 66. So if I take it early and I get a job, I'm going to lose some of my Social Security. So that is a factor. Gee, if I can get by on my work income, my Social Security just keeps getting bigger in the background if I don't draw it. So that is a factor. How much Social Security do I want to draw? On the other hand, if my life plan or the way the dice have fallen puts me in a situation where all I have is part-time income, maybe I could supplement that income with some Social Security coming in at 62. So again, it's individual, but it's a factor. And you brought that up, and I didn't. Good for you, Matt.
Well, and then we go back to the fact, I have parents, and they went through that same struggle,
Yeah.
But then you go back, Andy, to where the conversation began today. That's life expectancy. So maybe if you've got, low life expectancy, it makes sense to go ahead and start collecting at 62, even though you may get dinged because you have earned income. But if you can live a long time, Andy, we need to come up with that computer that's going to tell us exactly how long we're going to live. If you and I invent that, we'll be done, right?
It's true. And to put it bluntly, if you tell me your death age, if you give me your death date, I can tell you when to file for Social Security. We don't know that, so we have to play the odds.
What are some good websites that you recommend? I know your website, andylandis.biz, has good info, but what are some maybe calculators we can use that you rely on?
There's some interesting companies that try to take into account all of these different variables and give you a number, a date. One of them is socialsecuritychoices.com. That's all one word, socialsecuritychoices.com. Another one, and you can get these, you get the titles here, maximizemysocialsecurity.com and socialsecuritysolutions.com. These three websites will ask you for the important data and then give you options to maximize your Social Security for a fee. It's a fairly reasonable fee, $20 to $40. You can get the numbers that you want to make your own decisions around this important question.
Our guest, Andy Landis, and again, the book is called Social Security, The Inside Story. Now, make sure you look for the new and updated 2013 edition, but it's called Social Security, The Inside Story. Our thanks to Andy Landis for his time. Now, if you would like to learn more about maximizing your benefits, maybe you're close to retiring and you're asking questions like, okay, how do I make sure I get the most out of Social Security? We have two workshops coming up this Tuesday and Thursday here in Baton Rouge, one on the 5th at 6 p.m. and one on the 7th at 6 p.m. here in Baton Rouge next week. We're going to talk about the tips, the tricks of the trade, if you will, for maximizing your benefits, the do's and the don'ts. Now, you may be saying, well, I'm already drawing Social Security. Well, this workshop can still be of great assistance to you because we're also going to talk about how to fill out the retirement income puzzle. I mean, think about it. Social Security, right, is one part of your retirement income. But what if you need additional guaranteed retirement income? Or what if you're concerned about a stock market downturn hurting you in your golden years? We'll talk about strategies, plans, and products that can help protect you from volatile market conditions and, quite frankly, a government that is spending us into oblivion. So to register, we have a few spots remaining. Simply call us at 791-5773. That's 791-5773. 5773 or visit safemoneyplan.net to register. That's safemoneyplan.net. We'll be back in a moment. More of Your Money Matters coming up next here on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP.